Thank you so much. I've got to get Jerry. If you'll help me remember, we'll get Jerry and Robert to make it here. I think we got plenty, right? Okay.
We got 11
Okay.
now.
Okay.
It's time, Ben.
Yep. Good evening, everyone, and Merry Christmas. Tonight, we have a public hearing. So first of all, welcome to the Anderson County Board of Commissioners. We do have a public hearing. We will be hearing the resolution 25-12-1242, an amendment to the Anderson County zoning resolution, rezoning the property at 1495 Clinton Highway, Clinton, Tennessee. Rezoning it from general commercial district to heavy industrial district. So do we have anyone who would like to speak for that rezoning? If you'd like to. If you'll just come up and give us your name and address, please.
John Johnson. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good, good. You want my home address?
Yes.
1520 West Raccoon Valley Drive, High School.
Okay. And you would like to speak for the rezoning?
Yes, is there any questions?
Are you the property owner?
I am.
Okay.
Yep.
You're the property.
Can you tell us what you're trying to do with the property?
A recycle center for construction waste. No garbage, only construction material
Okay.
is what we're wanting to do.
Any other questions? Commissioner McNabb?
If you could just give everyone an overview of where this is located. Commissioners
Formerly
may
the
not-
old hitching post, right there across from West Wolf Valley, close to East Wolf Valley. The old hitching post building would be the scale house, and the lot beside it would be the building we put up to dump inside the building.
Commissioner Allen?
Merry Christmas.
What kind of experience do you have in dealing with what you're doing there? What kind of experience? Yeah, sure.
Right here's the experience.
Yeah, go ahead.
Will you just give us your name and who you're with?
Neil Wiggins with Noble Metals in Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This obviously is going to be a new venture, LWR transfer station. To answer your question, we've been in the business for well over 15 years in this location. Before that, I was 15 years in a northern state doing the same type of work. To give a quick overview of what we're going to do is with all the building and everything in this area where we put out boxes for new construction, clean out, stuff like that. This is going to be a C&D transfer station where we're going to recycle anything that we can take that right now would go into a landfill setting. We're going to bring it in there, dump it out. We're going to sort out concrete, dirt, brush, steel, cardboard, anything that can be recycled to try and put into a recycling stream. And then the rest is going to go right into the landfill afterwards. We're anticipating at least 25% recoverable, recyclable materials for this project.
One more question. How about the egress and how will you enter and leave the facility? How's that going to be taken care of?
So part of the hitch and post building, the front half, we're proposing we're going to take the front half down to leave the back half of the building.
Yes.
We're going to put it's going to be a 70-foot scale. in place in front of the building there, which will give us plenty of room off of Clinton Highway. And then everything, the trucks on the scale are gonna be going towards the north, towards, let's say, South Clinton. And if there's a truck on the scale, what the rest of the trucks, so they clear Clinton Highway is they're gonna go and they're gonna circle around the backside of the hitching post building, and they'll stage on the backside till the scale clears, and then they'll pull on facing north on the scale. That way, there's no trucks sitting on Clinton Highway shoulder.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
There's also turning lane too.
Yeah. I'm familiar with your facility there in Oak Ridge.
Thank you.
It's well done.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? Commissioner.
The current building, you say, is going to be used for this project, so I guess there's a car repair place there now?
Yes,
So that's going to go away and
That's gonna
be
go away.
used for this new project?
yes,
And then, it's my understanding that most of the homeowners in the nearby area have been talked to about this and
Yes.
approved, I think, is from what I've heard, right?
yes, and one's here.
Okay. And so I guess my only concern would be to keep it clean, and I think you're going to do that from what I've heard, and just, keep it
Yeah.
looking good, and I'll be in support of it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Can I add something?
You go-
So on that part of it, the idea is anything that comes in is gonna be leaving the same day. There's not gonna be piles of debris or nothing like that. All the work scope of the whole thing is gonna be done inside the building. And so, like I say, the idea is nothing's coming out to be piled outside. It's dumped, sorted, sent right back out. The sort process is gonna take place in the matter of probably less than 5 minutes with a couple of machines, and we're moving right away again, if that helps clear it up.
Reloaded and moved on.
Commissioner McCamey, did you have a question?
Okay.
Commissioner McCamey, did you have a question? No. Oh, okay, I thought I saw your hand, I'm sorry. Anyone else have a question or a comment? Good.
I think, Robert, will this also help us with recycling in the county?
Yes. We're in the process of building a recycle center, but they recycle a lot more than what we do. And, wood, everything else,
Oh, yeah.
And we are required by law to reduce the amount of garbage going into our landfill every year, and some years it's very close. So this is going to help us.
Thank you, Chair.
May I have one more
Commissioner?
question? How many will you employ?
So to start, it's gonna be kind of a soft start. We're looking at 3 to 5 for the first year. And then, obviously, I'm sure it'll go more than that.
Commissioner McNabb.
Just have one more comment. I'm in support of this. This is in my district, and I just wanted to thank these gentlemen. They've been very professional. They've reached out, answered any questions. They've spoke with neighbors. It's just been a very smooth process through this. So I just wanted to thank you for doing all the work, on the front end, reaching out to all the neighbors and everything. So appreciate that.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, thank you. Do we have anybody in the audience that would like to speak against the rezoning? Okay, with that, we will close the public hearing portion and we'll stand in recess until 6:30. Okay, okay. Good luck. Good luck.
It's 6:30, and I'll call this Anderson County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Looks like we have a quorum, Annette. We only have one that's absent. We will begin with prayer by Commissioner Allen, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by our District Attorney, Dave Clark. If you stand with me, please.
Dear Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, we would like to thank you for the many blessings that you have bestowed upon Anderson County, Lord. We would also like to say that we are humbled that the great citizens of Anderson County allowed us to be their leaders here in this commission to help them negotiate what needs to be done to make Anderson County great. We also would like to thank you, Lord, for your wisdom, that we will be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. We would also like to wish everyone here Merry Christmas to Oak Ridge, Anderson County, New River, Clinton, and also America. We would also like to keep in mind the reason for this season is Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. With these things we pray, amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Next, we come to our appearance of citizens. Do we have anyone that would like to address the commission? See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I believe I saw you first, ma'am. If you, one behind you, the one behind you, Donna. Yes, if you'll come forward. Please give your name and your address, and you'll have 3 minutes, and then you will get a 30-second warning, okay? Okay.
My name is Donna Maloney. I'm from Oak Ridge, Tennessee. I'm here to respectfully ask that the proclamation read during the consent agenda last month be removed from the record. A proclamation from this body is not just symbolic. It is an official statement about the values that we as Anderson County residents want to elevate. We must carefully consider who we choose to honor. As a nationally known conservative activist, Charlie Kirk was influential. But influence alone is not reason to give someone an official honor. I would like to briefly outline the political views he is widely known for and what a proclamation would endorse. First, Mr. Kirk was an advocate for Christian nationalism. He challenged the constitutional separation of church and state. Whatever your personal beliefs, this exclusive view marginalizes many of our county residents. Second, Mr. Kirk's rhetoric was intentionally combative around the LGBTQ community, gender identity, and diversity programs. Many of our county residents feel targeted rather than represented by those views. Third, he criticized the Civil Rights Act of 1964, affirmative action, and most DEI efforts. He argued that multiculturalism and immigration weaken the country. This runs contrary to equal opportunity and treating all members of society with dignity. Fourth, Turning Point USA's Professors Watch List encourages students to publicly single out teachers they disagree with politically. Educators across the country have said this list chills free expression and invites harassment. Finally, Mr. Kirk has publicly stated that some gun deaths are worth it to preserve gun rights. Regardless of one's view of the Second Amendment, many in our county would find this stance deeply disturbing. Honoring Charlie Kirk would not unite Anderson County. It would send a message that only some of our residents matter. We should reserve this county's honors for people who strengthen our community, uplift our neighbors, and bring people together. Please withdraw this proclamation.
Thank you. Ma'am, if you'd like to come.
Heather Kaiser, I'm a resident of Faust Lane, Lake City, Tennessee. I appeared last week before the commission, and I'm going to recap what I went over last week and ask quickly if there's been any reviews or resolutions to what happened. On December 5th, the animal control picked up my goat. He came onto my property without warrant and without a knocking. I was home all day. The goat was tied out less than 100 yards from my front door, so obviously they knew where he belonged. This was done without my consent, without a warrant, and is a true violation of my Fourth Amendment rights. Livestock ownership does not remove constitutional protections. Also, under Tennessee Code annotated, I'm sorry, I gotta look up the code, 3914-11, a animal control officer cannot take livestock. He has to contact the TDA if he had a true complaint about my livestock. The Tennessee Department of Agriculture would then investigate bringing an animal health scientist. Under Tennessee Code, local animal control does not have the authority to seize livestock. The animal control believed there was animal cruelty or neglect. They should have notified the Tennessee Department of Agriculture. Also, under Tennessee law, the animal rights, if they come and find an animal in distress or in need of emergent care, they still have to notify or try to make contact with the homeowner before removing the animal without warrant or cause, and cause being like a dying animal, but it does not apply to livestock. He did this. He trespassed onto my property. He removed my animal. He took it to the animal control. I was not notified. The animal was there for 3 days before I found it. I had been hunting for 3 days. Someone happened to see it and comment on my Facebook post that my animal was at animal control. He then did not want to give it back without a vet and all these other things. I did get the goat back the next day, and I feel it was in retaliation. TDA was called and filed a complaint on my farm. So TDA came the day after I retrieved my animal from Anderson County Animal Control. They inspected my farm, found my animal to be in great shape. He had one small wound on his nose, which Animal Control claimed was from an embedded harness. It was not. The animal health technician, who is a degreed person approved by the Tennessee Department of Agriculture to look at my animal, said it was just from where he had skinned his nose. We were treating it. It did not require vet care or anything else. My animal's body condition score was great. I do have recordings from the animal shelter, and I have pictures of his nose and everything else. I'm wanting to know what has been done and what has been said, or if there is anything that is being reviewed on this case before I proceed with further action, because my animal was taken, he was stolen from my property, my property was trespassed on. Also, it's a clear constitutional violation, which I don't think Anderson County upholds. I worked EMS and law enforcement in this county for 16 years, and I'm pretty sure that we don't search and seize without a warrant in Anderson County.
Thank you, ma'am.
And the last thing I would like to address as far as the animal shelter
Ma'am,
goes.
I'm sorry, your time is up.
Oh, it is up?
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank
Yeah.
you. I'm sorry, I
Thank
didn't
you
hear the
very
warning.
much.
No problem.
Jamie, you are looking into this, correct?
That is correct.
All right, thank you. I believe I saw the gentleman in the back. Yes, if you'll come forward and give your name and address.
Jimmy Burge, 246 Braden Flat Lane, Briceville. So I'm here tonight to talk a little bit about some of the New River things that are going on that everybody's aware of from the water line that Otis and I have been here for, I believe, about 3 years now, working on trying to get water to the 3 cemeteries that we no longer have access to, and the railroad that we have lost, and the road work that we're trying to get done on Highway 116. But I know you all are well aware of that, and I know there's a little bit of movement in what I'm about to talk about. But I want to talk about our identity. And as the town of Devonia, we were the engineers in 1918 from Moore's Coal Company found that there was rock formations. They found evidence that that our mountains were formed during the Devonian time period. Hence, that's where our name Devonia comes from. So I did a little research on that, and that was from 360 to 420 million years ago that our geniuses say that this happened. So when we lost our zip code for Devonia, when our mail was taken to Briceville, we ended up, I believe Marilyn Lloyd was in office at that time, and she said we could still keep the Devonia name and we would still receive our mail. It would just be with the Briceville zip code. So we've went along with that. The problem that we are running into is anybody that Google, since the day of Google and GPS, anybody that tries to Google Devonia, Tennessee, it comes up Briceville. So they don't know if they're coming to the right place or not. And we've had people not come to weddings, to funerals, to concerts, to all kinds of different events because of the confusion between the two. So we've also had a local confusion where local people know where Briceville is, but when they see New River with a Briceville address, they think they're going to the wrong place. So there's a lot of confusion in this name. I talked to somebody that went through Google and put in a request, and Google said they couldn't change it without somebody else doing it. I know it's federal regulated, but I would appreciate any help that you all can do to
Thank
get
you,
our
Mr.
identity
Burns.
back.
All right, thank you. Is this what you're taking up? Yeah, well, thank you. All right, Ms. Dawn. She has something that she has asked to be passed out.
Thank you. Should I get started?
All right, your name and address, please.
Donna Heitmanek, 185 Harbor Drive. I'm here to formally object to the proposed vote to advance the animal shelter project and the contract with Place Service Incorporated. This shelter project and the county's professional relationship with this architect has been public since 2019. That represents 6 years in which the county had both the opportunity and the obligation to engage the public and follow established best practices for a project of this scale. It did not do so. There were no meaningful public forums, no structured engagement of citizens, animal welfare advocates, rescue organizations, or shelter design professionals, and no transparent planning process consistent with accepted standards. For a multi-million-dollar public facility, there is a clearly defined best practices framework for animal shelter planning, and it was not followed. USDA guidance is explicit. Community engagement and sound inclusive planning are foundational requirements, not optional steps bypassed in favor of finalized drawings. A fully top-down process calls into question whether this project meets USDA expectations and the needs of this community. The cost escalation alone should halt this project. What began as just over $2 million has now exceeded $5.5 million. Commissioners are being asked to proceed without basic financial transparency. To date, the county has failed to produce public records documenting how much the architect has been paid since 2019. A July 2019 article stated that the first step would be the formation of the fundraising committee. The committee was never formed. Equally unacceptable is the failure to complete an operational audit of the current shelter. This commission requested that audit more than 6 months ago. There has been no update, no completed audit, no follow-up workshops, despite expectations in monthly meetings. An operational audit is a prerequisite, not a formality. Moving forward with it lacks any factual basis and amounts to negligent planning. Citizens formally requested the creation of an independent animal shelter board. Instead, a committee was created with the entire selection by a single individual without a transparent or public process. That decision undermines public trust. Let me be clear, this is not opposition to a new shelter. It is a challenge to the 6-year process that has lacked accountability, transparency, and due diligence. Decision of this magnitude must be based on facts and public oversight, not election timing and this commission owes the citizens of Anderson County an explanation. Finally, for the record, I have applied to serve as a citizen at large on the advisory committee because meaningful public participation and independent oversight are essential if this project is to be done responsibly. Thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you. Mr. Mullins.
I'm Nathan Mullins, and my Tennessee home story begins in Oak Ridge. For me, Christmas may never again compare to the ones my grandparents created. The greatest generation could feed 37 people in a semesto up on Oak Ridge or down on the farm in our county proper. I learned that the good Lord Jesus brought the finest example of humble origins, bringing profound hope and shining salvation through the meekest and most earnest of servants. My people had homespun origins and volunteered to build that town and eagerly took up the sacrifice to stop the socialist Nazis. They then invested to stand in the gap against the communists. For the benefit of subsequent generations who naively left that back door open for those same enemies to come in and hang a shingle up next door. I celebrate our common origins as neighbors. And if you've forgotten why we have East Tennessee Pride, pull up the Heartland series and you'll see our grandparents holding up tradition to the standard the good Lord gave them. And then maybe you'll agree we're in danger of selling out our values. So, I'm heralding a Christmas blessing before this council of humble community stewards for your consideration. My family is on the inside of confirming the $1 trillion investment coming into this county. Due to the work of prior Representative John Reagan, currying investment from energy and tech entrepreneurship in conjunction with our Congressman Chuck Fleshman, doubling the billions with European monies. It is not, needless to say, that these capitalist improvements were brought by Republicans. The Trump administration has enabled this, coming alongside with the biggest green light for regional union work on the pipeline that they have ever seen. Here's my proposition to allow us to lead the way. We must lower the property and corporate tax rate because we know what's coming. This will dwarf the original World War II investment. Yes, our rate is already slightly lower, but we must do our part to incentivize and show gratitude for this blessing our area has sorely needed. I aspire to honor the sacrifice of our greatest generation by bearing the burden of both tradition and our American ambition by preserving a safe and blessed future. May we pay a better Merry Christmas forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Did I miss anyone? Was there anyone else that desired to address the commission? All right, seeing no more, we'll move on. I'd like to ask Annette if she would to come forward. I know you're going to kill me. Please come forward. Everybody needs to see who you are. Annette is the brains of the outfit. She holds us together. She has a huge task. Come up here. I didn't finish what I wanted to say. I knew she'd run up here and run back. She has a huge task keeping up with 16 different personalities and styles and all that sort of thing. And then she has to keep us all on point. So you do a great job, Annette. Thank you so much for everything you do, and Merry Christmas. Just a small token of our appreciation. All right, next we need to look at our agenda. I hope you had an opportunity to read the consent and the regular agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda. Let's take these one at a time. I have a motion from Commissioner Anderson, second by Commissioner Capshaw. Is there any discussion? Yes, Commissioner Capshaw.
To speak on the Oak Ridge preschools, my two requests that I have, which I know we'll approve, but just to speak on what they were for.
Okay.
The Oak Ridge preschool, they have Little Leaves Lab, they have gardens that are in the back of the school. And so what I'm going to get, since it's winter time, it'll help them have little garden bags inside of their classroom so they can watch their plants grow and see the whole process during the winter time.
Okay.
And then Robertsville Middle School needs new spring uniforms, and so that is what I'm allocating funds for. So just wanted to address that, and thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Capshaw. If anyone has any questions about that, they can see you afterwards, okay? All right, any other discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. On the regular agenda, we have a couple of things that need to be added. Commissioner Yeager.
Thank you. I'd like to add a letter to Senator Randy McNally, Representative Rick Scarborough, and Ed Butler supporting the Tennessee Waste to Jobs Act. And I'd like, we have talked about this in previous months, so I'd like to put that on unfinished business.
All right.
Madam Chair, I think
Yes.
maybe I'm wired up wrong or something. It keeps saying I'm making motions, and it's not.
Oh, it's not you?
I mean, I'm fine making it, but I don't think it's me.
I think it's me then, because I tried to make a motion on it.
Maybe we're flipped.
You want us to test that?
I know, I'm sorry, Josh. I'm going to let you work on that. I'm going to take Commissioner Vandegrift.
Thank you, Chairman. I would like to add a resolution to authorize the $12.50 charge by the clerk for every court in Anderson County having jurisdiction of state misdemeanors and felonies for the purpose of authorized and set out in TCA 43-106.
Okay.
And we were handed that at before the meeting started.
All right. Can we add that under the Finance Director's report under Group 9A?
I agree.
Group 9A. Anyone else? All right, we have a motion. Do we need to clear that and do that again? Did you make that motion, Commissioner Anderson? Okay. All right, so Commissioner Anderson made the motion to approve the regular agenda, adding these two items. Is that good with you? Okay, and second by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Motion carries. All right. Next, we'll have our public hearing report by Vice Chair Vandegrift.
Thank you so much, Chairman. Earlier this evening in our 6 o'clock portion of our meeting, we had a public hearing to discuss the resolution 2512-1245, an amendment to the Anderson County zoning resolution rezoning the property at 1495 Clinton Highway. We would be rezoning from a general commercial district to heavy industrial district.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner McCamey, a second by Commissioner Foster. Is there any discussion on this rezoning? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
With that, that closed out the business of the public hearing portion.
All right, thank you very much. Next on our agenda is the application for the Animal Shelter Advisory Committee. We had one applicant, Commissioner Anthony Allen. I need a motion to approve this application. I have a motion by Commissioner Varon, second by Commissioner Foster. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Motion carries. All right. I will say that there are still 2 positions for commissioners on this committee. If you would like to apply, you can certainly do so. All right, moving on to the Commissioner Wendell.
Thank you, Chairman. I had just a question. How is this process being done? Is this, who receives the request when somebody wants to be on the Animal Advisory Committee? And then how's it vetted? Does it get vetted on the front end before it comes to this body? And who's doing that?
All right, so as far as the 3 positions on the advisory committee that are the, yes, the Animal Shelter Advisory Committee, those are for 3 commissioners. Any of the 16 commissioners can apply for those 3 positions. We sent out an email asking commissioners to apply if they desired to serve on this committee. We had 1 applicant. The Friday before the agenda deadline, Annette sent out a reminder. We still did not receive any other applicants. So there is no vetting other than it is supposed to be a commissioner, and he is the only one that applied to sit on the committee.
What about the other position?
The other is the mayoral appointments. I believe in her mayor's report there is an application process, and she will be speaking on that under her report.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Moving on, I'm sorry, Commissioner Foster.
There are, I mean, just from what we passed as a board, there are certain requirements for certain positions. So, I mean, that's laid out in the resolution that was passed outside of the commissioner spots.
Yes, thank you.
Certain roles.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other questions, discussion? All right, let's move on to the presentation of reports. Mayor Frank.
Thank you, Chairman and Commission. And just real quickly, I did want to testify to Jimmy Bird's comments about Google. You can ask Director Holbrook and Randy Walters, who went out to look for the church and a home, and they ended up on a back trail thanks to the GPS. They were actually off-road.
I remember that.
Director
I remember
Holbrook can
that.
speak about that. So we do need some assistance. The first item is the monthly shelter statistics. The second item is requesting a motion to approve Resolution 2512-1243. This is something that is allowable under the law. This particular resolution would give the Anderson County Mayor and the delinquent tax attorney the authority to file for relief with the court system on a property purchased at tax sale. That particular property is a Blackstone Energy property on New River Highway. I did, when the way this process works, if any commissioners have questions, when there is a tax sale, there are some private buyers. Anyone who does not purchase at the tax sale, then the county becomes the purchaser. So in this particular case, we came into possession of 2 parcels. This particular one is known, I put in your supporting document there, Moore's Camp area, and I did consult with some environmental companies because I thought, well, maybe if this is something where the county could clean it up and turn around and resell, it wouldn't be, I was trying to investigate that. But this actually is under state regulations. There's some particular, they have a fine against them right now currently. There are a lot of issues with it. It's actually a slurry where when the coal was washed, it would go into this particular area. So there's a lot of liability there, personal danger, as well as the environmental liabilities. So what I'm asking is to give me the authority to file for relief. And then what happens there is once you all authorize that, then the delinquent tax attorney will file with Chancery Court, and Anderson County will be relieved of that ownership.
All right. We have a motion by Commissioner Allen, second by Commissioner Foster. This will require 2/3 vote. Discussion, Commissioner Wendell.
Thank you, Mayor, this property, what is it, like 219 acres or something like that, 210?
I can't remember the exact acreage.
Well, Blackstone Energy, I think it was. Yeah, Blackstone Energy LTD.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, that's a governor of West Virginia that has that property, and property sold for, as you have in the records here, if you scroll down to the page there, it sold in 2010 for $8,240,700. I guess what I'm interested in, before I vote on this, is understanding exactly what our plans are. Is this, are we gonna take any action against Blackstone Energy, or are we just gonna dump it, or what's the intent?
So what happens is, so for instance, from the time of sale, and Mr. Brooks, chime in here anytime you need to, because I'm not an attorney, but from the time of the sale, the owner, the original owner, has a year to redeem that property. In that time frame, if you're at the tax sale, in this particular case, the county was the purchaser because no one else bought it. There were several other parcels owned by Blackstone Energy that they had not paid their taxes on. You'll see there are other buyers, so clearly even the other buyers were like, we don't want to touch this one. I have heard since then that they do have an intent to redeem all of these. In this particular case, I did get a copy. I did not put it in your agenda packet, and I can't recall, but I did get something where the state is actually, they have some type of order against them because this particular slurry, I think there's a little area that's leaching, and then I think there are some other issues. I can distribute that to commission. But it is still under any kind of federal and state regulation in terms of the environmental aspects. So us not taking ownership doesn't mean they're off the hook or anything like that. That's not a county regulation. That's a state and federal. So did I handle that?
The county does not want to get into the chain of title on this property because of the potential environmental problems, and it could come back on the county.
So I guess my question is, how much money do they owe the county for back taxes? Was it $54,000 or something like
Yes,
that?
sir.
And what are we gonna do to get that money from Blackstone Energy? What do we need to do? Do we need to take legal action? I see the state of Virginia's taking legal action, about $1 million against them. I don't know, and it even sounds more concerning that there's this slurry there, because we're all familiar with when you have environmental problems. Of course, they're going to be the ones to bear that because they are the original owners, I guess, unless it was predecessors before them that had it, I guess. But if they created that slurry, they're responsible under the RCRA Acts. They have to be responsible for in perpetuity, no matter if they sell it or not. So I guess what I'm looking for, Chairman, I'm looking for some direction. I'm happy to support the mayor's request. If it, obviously it helps the mayor, that's why she's asking. I'm not here to debate that. What I'm looking for is how are we as a county gonna get our money that's owed to us? And 54,000 on 210 acres isn't a whole lot of money. But I guess I'm just looking for some answers.
I do know, and I would assume it would cover this. Our delinquent tax attorney did say he heard that they were going to redeem all of these, so hopefully that will include this. I'd refer to Mr. Brooks. I think we would just go to sale again on the particular property. We're just going to continue to try to collect if they do not come and pay to redeem this. So it might be worth us, also reaching out to the state of Tennessee and just, letting them know these properties are going through the tax sale, they're delinquent, and just giving some extra attention from the state of Tennessee to those properties.
Commissioner, if they redeem the property, we get our tax money paid. Otherwise, we continue to have a lien on the property, and if it changes hands, we get our tax money paid.
Go ahead, yeah.
I'm going to defer to commissioners in that district. But would it make sense, I'm not saying tonight, but would it make sense for us to take legal action?
We have.
Okay. Just on the property tax?
On the property taxes, yes.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
I think that's the extent of what we can do right now, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Commissioner Val.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I was kind of following along with what Tracy was saying. And certainly, I'm interested in collecting the back taxes as well, but I'm having a flashback of American Nuclear down in your guys' district and the long, hard battle that we had with getting that cleaned up. And the mayor did an excellent job working to get that cleaned up. But now that my wheels are turning and we're talking about contamination of the ground, the contamination of the land, I'd be interested to know if any wells maybe, maybe this damaged the wells up there. Maybe if some people are having some trouble with water, which I guess through that area, maybe they're already on ACWA, but if we get the back taxes, that's great. But to go along with what Tracy's saying, I think we also need to make darn sure that whatever contamination was left by these folks, that they're the ones responsible for cleaning it up, so we don't wind up in the same situation that we did with American Nuclear. So I'm gonna go ahead and vote for this tonight. I understand the process and why we're doing it, and I agree with it 100%, but let's certainly bring this back up at a later date. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
And Commissioner Val, I can't get, when I open the document, there is State of Tennessee, Jonathan Skermetti in his official capacity. This is versus Premium Coal Company Incorporated. And there is an order granting plaintiff motion for default judgment, and this was filed on the December 11th, 2024. So this is Commissioner Sawyer's, and the order, let's see what it says here. It's discharging without a permit, operating in violation of permits, failing to comply with orders. Defendant violated the Tennessee Water Quality Control Act, and it's implementing regulations. And then there's more in there. So they are aware and working the case. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? All right, we'll need to do a board vote, Josh, for 2/3. All right, so let's go to the board and vote. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you. And then there is a second property. It's the Hoskins Oil Company property in Rocky Top. And I'm still reviewing that one with environmental consultants. When we brought it up, it looks like it's in 2 counties, but the parcel's actually all entirely in Anderson County. So I'm looking at the same kind of details. Under TCA, we've got 120 days from the entry order, so we're still looking at that one. If it's going to be the similar, same type situation, then I'll bring that next month with the
Okay.
same request.
Commissioner Foster, you have a question?
Yeah, that property, I'm familiar with it, obviously from my time up there, and they had a tank leak when they, TDEC came in and did some cleanup after the property was abandoned. So I do know there's been some environmental cleanup and there's been some work done while I was up
Okay.
there. But I don't know to the extent, but I do know that that was an issue that we had to call in the state to deal with it because there was a tank leaking.
Right.
Pretty bad.
That's good. That's what we're trying to look into because it is valuable property right next to the interstate. And if it's something that the county is able to, ensure that we're not taking on some massive financial liability for the environmental, then it would be a good property. So,
Commissioner Isbell.
It's my understanding the cleanup has been performed, and I've been contacted by some potential buyers too, once we work it through the county system.
very good.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, next, Mayor.
The next, I'm requesting a motion to approve the contract with Place Services for the construction of the Anderson County Animal Shelter. It has been reviewed by the law director. It is a standard AIA contract based on the low bidder. The bid was awarded on December 1st, 2025, following the recommendation by the architect as well as concurrence by USDA Rural Development.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner Allen. Do I have a second? I have a second by Commissioner Val. Any discussion? Commissioner Vandegrift.
Thank you, Chairman. Initially, I was fully in support of moving forward with this, but kind of in light of recent events and the ongoing concerns that we've had with the serious ongoing concerns that we've had with the personnel and the management and the community engagement issues, I wanted to step back and think about this a little bit more. So I decided what I need to do is separate the facility from the personnel and management issues. So from the facility standpoint, I believe we need to move forward, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One, the construction costs are not ever going to decrease. If we don't build now, it's just going to cost more in the future, and that wouldn't really be fiscally responsible to kind of kick the can down the road any more than we already have. So I think that we need to go ahead and approve that. And secondly, the animals really do deserve a more functional and nicer, safe and functional and a more humane facility. I think we've all been to that facility, and it's just not adequate. It really is not. So we need to make sure that we provide for the animals. And third, once the contract's signed, we're going to have a minimum of 365 days. I think after 365 days, that contract goes into a penalty phase. So I think in that 365 day, we need to use that time wisely. And what I mean is I feel like that we can't ignore the serious issues that we've heard about things at the animal shelter, personnel issues and management issues at the animal shelter. And we need to use this 1-year window to address those concerns head on. So I think we need to make sure that we get this board filled and operational as soon as possible. The county deserves accountability and transparency and improved leadership in this area. So I am going to go ahead and vote yes, but for proceeding on with the building for the approval of the contract and the building of the animal shelter. But it's a very reluctant yes at this point. I really feel like that we have to do something in the next 365 days to ensure that this animal shelter is run properly and humanely, and that the community engagement is definitely improved.
Thank you. Commissioner McNabb.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. We had a procedural vote on the animal shelter last month. I voted against that. I'm going to be voting against this tonight, and I wanted to explain my reasoning on that. I want to be consistent as far as I voted against it last month. I'm going to be voting against it tonight. For me, being new, there's just too many unanswered questions, and it's an exorbitant amount of money. And at this point, I just do not feel comfortable voting to spend this amount of money with so many questions outstanding. I'm open to changing my mind if a business plan comes forward that makes sense. If the facts change, my opinion may change. But as it stands tonight, with where we're at as a county, I'll be voting no on this plan moving forward. So, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Foster.
Couple questions for the law director. One, can we vote against the contract after we voted to accept the nomination? Like, this is the lowest bidder. This is the contract, this is approving the contract, but so that's my first question. So I'll let you answer that, and then I'll ask the second one.
My recollection is from November's meeting that the contract was voted for with the proviso, maybe two provisos. One, that it was reviewed by the law director, and two, it was approved by the USDA. But those were the only two conditions, as I recall.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. Second, there's a couple of parts in there that says base bid of $599,000, but then in the next paragraph it said like 5.9. Then it has the deductions. Was the 599,000 a typo? Like on page 3?
The 5,990,000.
Well, there's
Let me look.
yeah one on page 3 it says like 599,000 minus the alternate 1, alternate 2, then for contract total of 5,797.
I would
So
say we got a zero missing.
Yeah, and
Or
then there
nine.
was another page, you know, on the next page, or there was another page it was correct, but then I had it marked.
It does say 599,000, yeah, it's
Yeah, on like
supposed to
page
be.
1. I thought that was just a typo.
It is.
But
And
there was like
so-
places that said 599, like 5,999,000, then there was other places that said 599,000. So page, which is I guess a second edition, there was like
Yeah,
page
because
1. So
when you do the alternate deduct, the math is correct at the bottom, because it's 5,797,512,
missing
but,
a zero. So
yeah.
just since it is contract, just might want to point that out and correct that if on the vote.
Thank you. Commissioner Yeager.
I'm in favor of a new shelter. I don't love this, this change from 2019. It was, the article, and I assume the article is correct, but I haven't spoken with John Houdry in years, so I can't be certain, but it says the shelter would be more than 10,800 square feet, including 2,900 square feet for kennels. From what I understand now, which would make the what I would consider the shelter 7,900 square feet, and the runs 2,900 square feet. Now we're at a 14,000 square foot facility, including the runs. And this change from about 10,800 to 14,000 is, I don't love. I'm kind of like Commissioner Vandergrift. It's definitely needed. I don't, like I said, I don't love this plan, but I probably, unless I am convinced otherwise, I will be in support of it with almost kind of a heavy heart. So that's all I have to say.
Commissioner Yeager, the facility itself is 10,000 and some square feet, and then it's plus the kennel area.
Right.
And so, like in this contract, for purposes of the contract, it says it's approximately 14,000 square feet, but it's actually 13,000 and whatever. I don't have that in front of me, but it's the 10,000 square feet for the finished space, surgery inside, and then the kennels are additional square footage. They're under a roof and everything, but they're not that same kind of finished out.
Well, yeah, that's what I understand, but the original plan was for about 10,800 total, including 2,900 for the
That
runs.
could be just, I mean, that could be like a reporter error, so like how you look at including, so it's 10,800, and then including the additional for the.
Yeah, that's not the way it
So
was worded.
That's
so-
not worded properly. Yeah.
Okay, so it
Yeah.
was always originally this
Correct.
kind of size?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, I went back and asked the architect, because that was a question at commission, and he said it has always been the same. We did have some changes that were made. So for instance, Dr. Garrett, when he reviewed the plans, we had a large quarantine cat room. There's a healthy cat room, then there's the adoptable space out front. And he wanted the large quarantine room divided, but we moved, we inserted a wall, but that did not add any additional square footage or anything like
Okay.
that.
Thanks for clearing that up for me.
Any other discussion? Oh, Commissioner Wandell.
I guess my question, Mayor, you're obviously over the shelter. You're obviously over the animal control. my question for you is, what is the urgency to have this done tonight? And why would it not make sense to have the committee, board, whatever we want to call it, form first, to have all these questions we're having here vetted out in that body?
Well, we did go to bid. We're working with USDA. We've closed on the funds. We had a vote to award to the low bidder, subject to the concurrence with USDA. USDA has approved. Then the next step in the process is to go ahead and execute the contract. And so it's just part of the process of, I mean, we're not going to be starting tomorrow. And we have to have, they have to execute it on their side. We have to execute it. Then you have pre-construction. Then we'll do the notice to proceed. So that's still a long process. And it's the 365 days does not start until we actually do a notice to proceed. So, the money is, I mean, we closed on everything this morning. We'll just have everything I don't know. I mean, it's just another step in the process to get this done. It's been a very, very long process. This is just, if for any project, this is what happens. Whether it's a jail, Claxton Elementary, this is standard procurement.
Well, it doesn't, listening to you speak, it doesn't sound as if it's urgent to do it tonight, unless I'm putting words in your mouth.
I mean, I think it is. We've issued a notice of award to the company. They have to schedule the work, and so they have a bid that is has been submitted, and they're expecting to do work. So, I mean, from a business standpoint, they can't just be in a holding pattern. They've submitted a bid, and there's costs that can continue to change, and that might, I don't even know from Catherine's standpoint, like how long, what that means in terms of holding a price.
Chairman, I would be more comfortable if we had a committee or a board in place to allow these discussions to take place and review. It concerns me that we have a contract we're getting ready to take action on that wasn't even correct, but we're prepared to vote yes. Those kinds of things mean something, and along with the size, along with the maintenance, the operations, the cost, how many people we're going to hire, none of those questions are answered. Now, I'm sure they'll be answered at some point down the road, but I'm very concerned about our current revenue. I'm very concerned about the future of this county when it comes specifically to the animal shelter. That the current shelter we have, the budgets went from roughly $285,000 in the last 3 years. We're now approaching $480,000, I guess. I haven't looked at it lately, but it's increasing, and it's potential. We're going to have a lawsuit on our hands. So we can vote to spend $6 million and then pay more money for the mistakes that were made just recently. But I will in no way, and look, I'm for an animal shelter. I was on the animal shelter committee, advisory, whatever you want to call it. Did we get anything done? Absolutely not. We all can sit here and debate why we didn't, but we didn't get anything done. So I'm in favor of a new committee. But anyway, I'll be voting no. I'm not in favor of spending $5.5 or $5.9 million of the taxpayers' money without clear instructions on how that'll be done. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Varon.
Yes, I wanted to ask the law director, will this put us in legal jeopardy if we don't approve this?
It could, Commissioner, because the minutes from November, Commissioner Beauchamp made a motion to award the bid for the Anderson County Animal Shelter to the lowest bidder, subject to USDA approval, and allow the county to pay the soft costs. And that was passed, I think, 11 to 2. So,
Is that it? All right, thank you. Commissioner McCamey?
Mayor, how many people bid on this project?
We had 3 bidders. We had quite a few come to the pre-bid. I can't remember how many that was. Robbie remembers, I think it was 8 or maybe even 11, but we had 3, which, that happens sometimes. Actually, on a lot of them, we get a lot of interest for pre-bid. We have a mandatory pre-bid meeting, and then 3 submitted. This particular company was considerably lower than the other 2 bids. I did do some research on them. They do things like anything from health departments to Walmart to Whole Foods to CVS. They're a top-tier company, and it looks like they're entering our market. They are from Canton, Georgia, is where their headquarters is.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know, just that they were the low bid out of the 3 that we received.
Yes, they were the low bid.
Okay.
By a lot.
Thank
Yep.
All right, any other discussion? All right, Josh, we need to go to the board and vote on this. Just a majority. I'm sorry, Commissioner Smallridge, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
Just a follow-up question to Mr. Ryan's question. Delaying a month would not put us in any potential legal jeopardy. Am I correct on that?
I suppose not. I don't know what impact it would have on, the numbers in the contract or anything like that, but I suppose not.
Thank you.
Commissioner Val?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I was going to try to remain silent, but that's difficult for me, for anybody who knows me. I understand everybody's concerns. I've listened to them for not only the last year or so with the current issues we've got, but I've been listening to them now since 2016. I think everybody agrees we need an animal shelter. Everybody's in agreement on that. Where the disagreements begin is in the management of the said animal shelter. And I understand Commissioner Tracy's point. I get that. I understand where he's coming from, absolutely. And I understand Shelley and Phil's point. I get it. But what we've done, I fear, is we've married 2 different issues together that need to be divorced. If we're going to talk about the management of the animal shelter, in my opinion, that's Mayor Frank's wheelhouse. We can give her opinions, and we can tell her our thoughts, and we can tell her the calls we're getting from constituents and educate her on the issues of that. That's not going to change the fact we need an animal shelter. We're sitting here tonight talking about a big price tag. I get it and I understand it. We keep putting this off a year from now, however long from now, and the price tag comes back at 6.5 million, at 7 million, I'll tell you right then and there, I'll be a no vote, because that's not being a good stewards of the tax dollars when we could have done it for the price that's offered to us today. Let's deal with 2 separate issues separately. Let's talk about building an animal shelter, and then we'll talk about the management and what changes we need to make on that as a totally separate issue. That changed 2 cents. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Any other? All right, Josh, you ready? Let's go to the board and vote. Yes is to approve the contract, no is to not. I'm waiting on 2 votes. Okay. All right. Motion passes. All right, thank you.
The next
Did you have a-
item, Madam Chairman, is I did put a copy in there of the Anderson County Animal Care and Control Advisory Board membership application. There are instructions on there to mail that to the county mayor's office. And then there's your standard details such as name and contact information, your availability, and then also the topics that most interest you in serving on the committee. So Leanne will send this out to the media so that it gets in the media. I know it's been talked about a lot in the media, but as far as like the details of where to find the application, where to download it, and where to email it, we'll get that out in a media briefing.
All right. Commissioner Foster.
Mayor, do you have a timeline of when you would like to submit your people to the commission for, do you have a deadline for application? Then I guess, would it be next month that you plan to submit that, or February? I didn't know if you had a timeline.
Yes, so, you know, we'll get the press release out, so next 30 to 60 days, yes. I mean, we'll see what we have and what I can put forward. As you said, there are some, although I did not include this in the application, like the box, like, are you a vet? But we do need, if I don't get somebody, then I would have to recruit that particular member.
Commissioner Wendell.
Mayor, has anybody already applied for this through your office?
I know one of the speakers tonight said she had. If she did, I did not get it. And then I did have Commissioner Barron forwarded me a resume from someone. So I'll make sure to get her an application. I think it was you, Commissioner Barron. Or you? Okay. I think it was Ms. Capshaw. So it was not you, but it was a different Ms. Capshaw. Yeah.
So has any of those applicants been turned down or made a decision on?
No, we just did put the application together last week.
Okay.
So I will send them the official application because the one person that was forwarded to me just sent a resume. So.
Thank you, Chair.
Is that it for your report?
Yes, that is it.
All right. We have had a request for about a 10-minute break. So let's recess for 10 minutes. Let's come back at 20 till.
Poor Jamie.
$6 million. Unassigned fund balance is at $13.7 million for a total fund balance of $16,888,883. Cash $13,940,460. School fund balance $11.9 million. Cash $10.3 million. And any question? All the funds are listed here with their cash balance and fund balance, total fund balance. Any questions?
On the Little Dog sales tax, obviously, we started off the year, this fiscal year pretty well. Do you have anything to, what's causing that? If the trends that you're seeing? I mean, everybody talks about the county being down, but.
For the
sales-
revenue?
Yeah.
The cash, well, I do.
Not cash, but on the sales tax revenue.
Oh,
it's-
well, they did offer, they did up to percentage that the state was collecting that they're giving to the counties now. I'm not, yeah, that has helped some,
Okay.
but, yeah, that's the only.
We're up 23% this month from last year?
Yes. To 2023. Yeah, actually, the county as a whole is up 8.2% at 4.4 million. Anderson County portion 611,382, up 22% from last year. We're collecting about $200,000 more in just an Anderson County portion than we did last year at this time. So.
Thanks.
Mhm. Hey, Tracy. Yes, the grant inventory list, we added 2 new grants for the Health Department Safety Net grants at the bottom, as you can see, and this is a list of our grant inventory for this fiscal year. And the ARP projects, ARPA projects report, we still have the 8 projects still not completed. We do have an update on 3 EMS ambulances. 1 should be here March of 26, and 2 new EMS delivered scheduled for May and August of 26. And we do have interest of $19,719 available as well. Any questions on that? Okay. Contracts, all have improved with legal review. There are 3 of those, 4A, 4B, and Catalyst that was under Section B, which is an amendment to the previous contract.
Second by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion on this group of contracts? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, Group 4 appropriations from the school department. There are 3 of those. Seeking approval as a group.
Robbie, did we need to do Group 3?
Oh, yes. Sorry. No, Group 3 is the transfers.
It's just a transfer, okay.
I do have one other item on the purchasing. We do have 1 surplus vehicle. That can also be a voice vote.
Okay.
Can we handle Group 4 and then go back and do the surplus?
Sure.
That's what's on the board.
Sure. So Group 4, this is, y'all have got that in front of you. We have a motion by Commissioner Allen, second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion on the Group 4 appropriations for the school? Seeing none, this needs to be a board vote, doesn't it?
It does.
All right, let's go to the board and vote. You're throwing me a curveball.
Sorry, that's my fault.
That's okay. All right, Commissioner Anderson's not here. There we go. Motion passes.
Okay, and back to Group 2 purchasing contracts and surplus vehicles. We did have 1 new vehicle to surplus. And just needs to be a voice vote.
Okay, Commissioner Foster made the motion. Commissioner Allen, second. Any discussion on this surplus vehicle? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, Groups 6, appropriations non-school. There are 7 of those.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner McCamey, second by Commissioner Allen. Any discussion on this group of appropriation? Seeing none, let's go to the board and vote. Motion passes.
Thank you. And under Group 7, 2 appropriations that affect unassigned fund balance.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Allen, second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? All right, let's go to the board and vote. Motion passes.
Thank you. Under Section A, the first miscellaneous, Group 9 miscellaneous, Section A is the district attorney litigation tax of $12.50. It also comes with Resolution 2512-1245, was approved by the Budget Committee.
All right, that resolution was what was handed to you at the beginning. And this will require a 2/3 vote for a litigation tax. Motion was made by Commissioner McNabb, second by Commissioner Foster. Discussion, Commissioner McNabb.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I'd like to see if General Clark would mind. He's been waiting back there patiently, so he can give us some more information on this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to address you on this issue tonight. Just a little context. In August this past, this resolution came up. It did not receive the required number of votes. I was not here to address some questions that were raised, and I apologize for not being here. But let me give you a little context and address the concerns that were raised at that time, and I think there are good answers that you will be satisfied with. For decades, Tennessee's district attorneys have received funding from court costs. Those dollars were called the Fraud and Economic Crime Fund. The funding came through a court cost leveled on several criminal charges, the most significant of which was bad checks. We don't have bad checks anymore. So the funding source has gradually dried up across the state of Tennessee. District attorneys need these dollars to provide for training, travel for witnesses, and a host of other minor expenses that come along in the process of prosecuting cases, investigating cases, and promoting public safety. We look for a substitute. A substitute was proposed to the Tennessee legislature. It was passed, I believe, unanimously or very close to unanimously by the State House, by the State Senate, signed into law by our governor. This created a $12.50 fund at the election of local county legislative bodies and the district attorney to impose a fee on criminal cases. The funding would be used for the same thing as the Fraud and Economic Crime Fund. This would be a replacement for the Fraud and Economic Crime Fund. When this came before you in August, Chairman Mays asked a couple of appropriate questions. He wondered if there were additional state court costs coming down the pike and concerned that this could be the first of many. In response to that, we actually are taking away a cost. So last year the legislature adopted this provision. This year we are asking them to repeal the Fraud and Economic Crime Fund fee. So the $12.50 fee will replace a $75 fee that has been imposed on some of the criminal cases. Secondly, Commissioner Mays asked and wondered if this fee would be collected before or displace some collection of county fees and taxes on court cases. A reasonable question. The answer is no. This fee would be at the very end of the costs collected by the clerk. So restitution to crime victims, litigation taxes, county fees all come before this. This is at the very end of the list of expenses that get collected by court clerks. This provision has been proposed across the state. Not every county has voted on it. I believe Lawrence County, Tennessee, and Southern Middle Tennessee is the only county that has declined to impose the fee, and that's coming before them for reconsideration, much like this one is here. So this appears to have been a popular option across the state and with the legislature, the idea being to impose the cost on the user as opposed to imposing the cost on the taxpayer. And so everyone has considered this a good option to fund necessary expenses. What expenses? Expenses like I am required to designate one prosecutor to become an expert in child abuse investigation and prosecution. I need funding to send that person for that kind of training. We may have to ask witnesses to come in to testify and pay their travel expenses. This is a fund that would pay for those things. We put on programs for school children to talk about drugs. This pays for pamphlets that go home to the parents so that they can learn what their children have heard about at school so they can reinforce those messages. There are a host of things, but all of them necessary. The expenditures from this fund get reported each year and audited by the comptroller. I'm required, or will be required, to send a report to the chairperson of the House Criminal Justice Subcommittee, the Senate Justice Committee, as well as the Senate and House Finance Committee chairperson. So there'll be 5 reports that go out to Nashville as well as an audit. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, General Clerk. Let's get Commissioner Yeager.
The $12.50, is that the maximum that the new law allowed?
It's actually a binary choice. It's not a max or a minimum. It's just $12.50 is what they authorize.
And how, you could say, I only need $10?
No,
It's
sir.
not even that option?
No, sir.
Okay, all right,
The funds would accrue, so if there is more collected than spent, then they would accrue in a fund that would be managed, in this case, by Anderson County. In some
Okay.
cases, in multi-county judicial districts, it's sent to Nashville, but in this case, because we are a single county district, it would stay here.
All right, let me go one more then. How much do you expect to raise from this $12.50?
Well, because we've not done it, we don't know, but we have looked at prior years. My guess would be $30,000 to $35,000 per year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner White.
Thank you, ma'am. How will you go about collecting this?
Well, for me, it's easy because the clerk does it.
Well, how will the clerk go about it?
So it's part of the costs that are imposed as court costs. And so court cost bills exist now to collect all sorts of fees and litigation taxes that go to the county and the state, to the sheriff, to pay restitution to crime victims. And so the clerk sends a bill to folks, or it's presented to them when their case is concluded. And I'll have to say our clerk does a fantastic job of using personnel to contact folks and to encourage them to make their payments.
If I am a thief, or if I am a drunk, or if I am a felon, how will...
Let me put your mind at ease. We have no investigations ongoing.
If I have a habit of not paying my bill,
Yes, sir.
why would I pay this?
Well, all your court costs are part of the judgment. So if you get a speeding ticket, you might be fined $20 plus court costs. So it becomes a court order that you are required to pay this fee. And the clerk will remind you of that. This fee, this $12.50, goes in with lots of other fees that are already being collected. This is just part of a list of fees that are collected by our clerk now and have been for 150 years.
I'm just afraid it's going to overwhelm this person that's not used to paying their bills.
Sure. Well, I can't say that they're all paid, frankly. And some people, when they're in prison, are incapable of paying those fees, and those don't get paid, typically. But they can collect for years into the future that folks will pay their court costs. And that's part of the punishment, just like a fine, or just like a jail sentence, or probation, or community service. The court costs are part of the fine, and sometimes cases are resolved. Well, we're not going to make you do 5 days in jail. You can do 2 days in jail plus pay your court costs, or your court costs and your fine, or serve probation for. So it's a part of the mix of the sanction for committing a crime.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Commissioner Capshaw.
Impact paying for, like training for the Child Advocacy Center, their staffing, those witnesses, or anyone that? No. Okay.
There may be things that we would, trying to think of an example. Let's say, for instance, a child is physically abused, and we need them to be interviewed at the Children's Advocacy Center, but because of the abuse they suffered, they've been taken out of that home and placed with a relative in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. This fund could be used to pay for the child to be transported back to the Children's Advocacy Center to be questioned in support of that investigation or prosecution for child abuse. But it would not be direct support of that center.
Okay, indirectly, okay, thank you.
Commissioner Allen.
Yes, can you give us an example of what you do when you go into a school? What
Sure.
kind of programs are there?
We've done a number of programs, over 10,000 kids in Anderson County. Oftentimes they have been about drug use. We did a program early on, 2006 to 2010, about methamphetamine. We've presented a couple of videos to the kids as part of those presentations, and remarkably, a couple of them have won Emmys, including the methamphetamine video that we did. We did a program on prescription pain pills when that became the sort of the raging epidemic, and also on heroin and fentanyl as the drug problem has evolved over time. So we're always looking for opportunities to meet the challenges by educating kids about the dangers. One of the problems with fentanyl and heroin is it can be fatal, and kids think they might be taking a tablet that's a prescription pill. But one of the things we've tried to do is educate them that that may not be a prescription pill. It may look like a prescription pill, but it may have been made by a drug dealer rather than a pharmaceutical company. And as kids are wont to do, they try and experiment with new things. And so we've tried to warn them that we can't play with this. You can't experiment with that.
Do you do any adult education? You're handling the children, but sometimes the parents may not understand the dilemmas. Do you ever talk with the parents about these kinds of things?
Absolutely. We've put on programs for adults about online dangers. Okay. So cell phones, computers, and that sort of thing, to make the parents aware of what the dangers are, things to look for, terminology that they may need to be aware of. Every time we put on a program through the schools, we send a brochure or an information home so that the parents are aware of and they see the messaging that the kids have received so that they can choose to talk about that with their children in the way they think is fit.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's go to the board and vote. This requires a 2/3 vote. Thank you, General Clark. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Section B, Catalyst Contract and Funding, both were approved under Group 2 and Group 6, so I don't need a vote on that. The CDBG grant opportunity, the mayor presented a community development block grant opportunity the grant could help fund an EMS station in Rocky Top. This would not interfere with the prioritization of future Oak Ridge and Claxton stations, and that motion passed for application of the grant.
All right, I need a motion to approve this grant or to proceed with this grant. We have a motion from Commissioner Smallridge, second by Commissioner Capshaw. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, Section D, Park Road, there was a motion by Commissioner Beauchamp and seconded by Commissioner Palmer asking in good faith if the road superintendent, Gary Long, will repair the road with his budget and bring the cost estimate back to inform the Budget Committee next meeting, and that motion passed as well.
All right, so that's going back to budget,
Yes.
correct? All right.
And Section E, the sheriff's salary comparison, Sheriff Barker presented a salary comparison. There was a motion by Commissioner McNabb and seconded by Commissioner Vandergrift to hold a workshop exploring sheriff department raises. Actually, it was amended to include all public safety salaries, and that will be Thursday at 4 o'clock.
Thursday at 4.
Yes.
All right.
So that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Everybody have
Merry
a Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Commissioner McCamey, sorry, I did not see you.
Just public safety employees. I think they're all valuable.
Oh, I agree.
Throughout the courthouse. But
That was, the sheriff just brought it. I think he was just speaking for his departments, and so it turned into public safety. But in the agenda, we did include all of the county employees' salaries, of course, not with their name on it, but every position, because we were asked to by a couple of other commissioners, Commissioner Allen and Beauchamp, asked that we include all the employees for the county. So that was, it's just a discussion. There'll be no motions or votes or anything. It's a workshop, so.
It's a workshop.
Right.
But it will be for all Anderson County employees.
I'm assuming yes, because it's part of the agenda now.
Okay, remind me, because I will be here to speak for all county employees.
Thank you.
Commissioner Val.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Love my buddy Robert sitting across the aisle. I understand exactly where he's coming from. We can love each other and disagree. I have a question for the law director. When a special call meeting is called, the rule is we can only discuss the items that are on that specific agenda. Do workshops fall under the same criteria?
No, because workshops are for information only. There's no deliberation, no vote. It's just for the dissemination of information.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
You're welcome. Any other questions for the finance director? All right, thank you. Commissioner Yeager, sorry.
It's not for Robbie. I just want to follow up. There does, with Commissioner Val, this is a workshop does have to have an agenda, though. So it's not just a free-flowing exchange of ideas. Just wanted to throw that out there in the world.
And you have sent an agenda out?
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
already done an agenda.
All right.
We've seen those before.
Yeah, we have.
All right. Director of Schools, Dr. Parrott.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Yeah.
And tonight, I do not want to speak on education. I want to speak on citizenship. And just a minute to tell you some things that went on in October. You know, one of the things we do as a school system, we want to make sure our students are productive citizens. And so in the month of October, as you know, it's Veterans Day, and our elementary schools, if you got a chance to look at our report for this month, did a tremendous thing about veterans. We sometimes get a black eye because we go to school on Veterans Day, but we've always done that because that gives us a chance to really celebrate our veterans and to celebrate this country. And so along with that, all of our elementary schools did that, celebrated our veterans. A lot of them had breakfast with them. The first time they had ever got my father-in-law, he's 89 years old, and first time they'd ever got him to go, but they got him to go this year, and he really enjoyed it. And when he has something good to say, it's pretty amazing. But anyway, the other thing that you may not know is every one of our schools, every day, they stand and do a moment of silence and do the pledge. And before 9/11, that didn't happen. And the school district made a commitment when 9/11 happened that some schools, it was sporadic, and they did that. And so that's kind of another thing of how we build some citizenship and to be patriotism and things like that into our students. And our ROTC, we have those at both of our high schools. The one at Clinton just got a perfect score on their when they come and did their evaluation. And the person said, you know, I don't know how to do this because I've never had one. And to me, when you get a perfect score of 100, and any time you deal with students is pretty amazing. So let's move on into November. In November, we call that the month of giving. We had almost all of our schools did a food drive. All of our elementaries did angel trees. When you look at Clinton High School, they did a Second Harvest food drive during football season, and they won the overall with, I think, over 100,000 pounds of food that was done. The angel tree at Anderson County High School, there was almost 270 tags on there for students. Just the students did over 70 of them and worked with the county and worked with the community to do the rest of those. All of our schools, when you ask them, they know the students that need something, and they give them to where our students have Christmas. And it's people just don't know about it. I mean, when you look at Fairview tomorrow, we'll be taking gifts over there, and there'll be gifts for probably 75 to 100 students, and they probably average $200 to $300 for those students. And when you think about that, that's a pretty amazing thing when they do that. Over 500 of our students each week has a backpack that they take home that's full of food. And I guess the most thing that humbled me on Wednesday night of last week, if you knew Wednesday night, it was raining. Well, Lake City Middle School, our director of our family resource, she worked with Second Harvest, and they brought 3 trucks over, tractor trailer loads of food. And we unloaded them. We had students there, and we gave away over $100,000 worth of food to over 500 families. They were 60 kids there, every athlete, I think, at Lake City Middle School. We had teachers from Lake City Middle. We had teachers from Norris Middle School. We had SROs. We had people that just showed up to volunteer. And listen, it was cold and it was rainy, and but it was one of the most tremendous things you've ever seen. So we talk about grades, and we do that, and we're always going to do that. But I think one of the things we forget sometimes is that we're building young men and women, and when our school system does these things, and we're working on a video that kind of just shows when they do. If you've never been at Andersonville Elementary School, when 400 students get up in the gym and start reciting the pledge, and they do it on the side, it'll take your breath away. So I just wanted you all to be proud of that, because I'm proud of what we do in Anderson County, and that's part of what you do, and we all need to be part of it at this time of year. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Parrott. Commissioner Allen.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yes.
I do have a question that has to do with the Norris School.
Yes.
Can you elaborate more on Norris being a level 5 school and named a reward school
So,
for Tennessee
so,
DOE?
so we had 3 schools this year. We had Clinton High School, Norris Elementary School, and Norris Middle School. And to be a reward school, you have to be in the top 5% in the state in academic success. That's either growth or achievement.
Yes.
So all 3 of those schools were in the top 5% in the state of all schools.
So name those schools again. Norris was one of them.
Norris Middle School, Norris Elementary School, and Clinton High School.
Thank you very much.
And then the grade card comes out on the 18th, and it's going to be
Well,
good.
I will applaud for that too.
Yes.
Thank
yes.
you very much.
Yep.
Any other questions for Dr. Parrott? Commissioner Wandell.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Dr. Parrott. You're exactly right. Got to go to 2 of those veterans events, and kind of humbling, obviously, but when the kids know more about the songs than a veteran does, it kind of makes you feel a little silly sometimes. But it really blew me away how many songs that they're taught about our country and pride and freedom and our flag, and it just took my breath away. I saw some other commissioners, Chairman Palmer and Mayor, at another event over at Clinton. But just want to say thank you for that. And as far as the Lake City, I went by there, and it was supposed to only last for a couple hours. Went by there to go eat at Cracker Barrel, and I said, "What's going on?" And you're right, it was past the time.
It was.
And I want to thank, and I know you did, but the sheriff's office,
Yes.
they were directing traffic, and all the teachers, and it was amazing how many people were out there giving that food away, and it was an orderly function, and I just want to say thank you and all the staff out there. It was impressive. So
Hey,
thanks.
and listen, it was almost, I think it was about $500 worth of food. I mean, you're talking ham, fresh vegetables, frozen chicken. You're talking about everything, you know.
Was it, how many semi-trucks was it?
There was 3 trucks. And so there was a big semi that was completely full of dry stuff, and there's 2 trucks that were full of just frozen stuff. And so, and it was like, my job was to give away pecans. Somebody called them But they got 2 pounds, every person got 2 pounds of pecans. Them are not cheap.
No.
No.
And we give away about 40 cases of them, so.
Wow.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Wow.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Dr. Parrott.
you all.
Merry
Have a great
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, let's move on to the law director's report.
We really don't have anything to act on tonight. We have put in with the report information that the office has accumulated and Cassandra has put together on AI. That is something we need to be thinking about, something that we probably should, I hate to say another committee, but we do need to be thinking about that because there's just so many traps, so many pitfalls, especially in records requests. So we need to be, we want to look at that in relatively quick.
And do you think this is something that needs to be referred to the operations committee to look at further?
I do.
Okay.
IT committee.
What?
IT committee. There's department heads. That would be my motion to refer to IT committee, then it can come back to operations after that, but that has department heads, unless they've already looked at it.
Does the IT committee still meet?
Yeah.
We still have one. The last issue that we looked at was something that, I think there was a request from operations to look at a topic, and it's not, I can't remember what it was, but the HR advisory committee, other than having the IT director on there, mirrors I think there's only like two people that are on HR that are not on the IT. So we could also bring it up at the HR committee, since it mirrors that, and then just invite the IT director.
I'm fine with that. I'll make that a motion then to send to HR committee. I just think the department heads, they're gonna be dealing with it more than I think operations will, and then obviously it comes back if there's a policy needs
All
to be
right.
approved.
If you'll make that motion, I'll need to get a second. All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Foster, second by Commissioner Varon, and this is to refer this to the HR committee. And invite the IT director. Commissioner Wendell.
Commissioner Foster, would you be open to maybe let it go to the Legal Services Advisory Committee where all the department heads meet? Sure.
Yeah, that's fine. I just didn't think you need to come to operations first.
No, I agree with
Yeah,
you.
so, it can come to us before it comes here back to full
'Cause
commission, so.
I know the mayor's been listening in. We attended the meeting the other day where it was talked about AI. I know she's got a lot of more information on it. But I'm open with either one. I'm not trying to.
I'm fine with however they want to deal with it. If you're fine with that, send it to legal.
What's the differences between the HR? Of course, we'd have the HR manager. What about, does legal services have the HR manager?
Please, no. It's department heads and 3 commissioners.
Okay.
And the mayor. Ex officio.
And I would still like to invite the IT director to the legal services committee if that's where we're gonna go with it.
You can leave it to, you can leave
What
it
do you
to HR, it don't
think?
matter. Don't matter.
We do have an HR meeting on
Okay.
Friday,
Well,
so we can go ahead and
leave it there.
get on
You want to
top
leave
of
it there? Okay.
I'm very open to wherever we see.
Yeah,
it.
I am too. I
That's
agree.
all
I
have
just
to
want
be one way or the
clarification
other.
there. Okay. All right. Any other discussion on the motion? So it's, the motion is to send it, or to refer it to the HR committee
IT director invited.
with the IT director invited. All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Anything else?
No, with that, I've used up my words tonight.
You have. Well, I'm glad to see you upright. I hope you heal soon. Merry Christmas. Commissioner Capshaw, did you have a question for the law director?
Just my two things that I'm working on, of course, is Civil Air Patrol, any updates on that, and of course, discussing our letter that we've been working on for Sinking Springs, just a recap.
For the Civil Air Patrol,
Mhm.
I think I believe Cassandra spoke with Roger today.
Okay.
And Commissioner, I think you were there. And we're to the point where we can issue a letter to the Civil Air Patrol saying, yes, you can use this, but it's gonna be subject to A, B, C, D, and E, or we're gonna have to wait for the life safety inspection by the city.
Okay. I just wanted that being said so that they're aware. I'm sure they're watching.
And then we met with City Manager Roger Houck this afternoon and gathered a lot of information regarding
We did.
the Sinking Springs, Llewellyn Hollow, and Charles Seaver Boulevard intersection, which it's a state road in the city that connects to county roads. So how's that for bringing everybody together?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Commissioner
Thank you.
Barron.
Yeah, on this, letter on the Waste to Jobs Act.
Yes, sir.
It occurred to me the other day, since this is gonna be put on to the packaging companies and everything, the way how it's presented, it's all free to us. But at the same time, I wonder how much this might raise the consumer price index to families that are buying these products and stuff like that, and what it might be for the average family. I was wondering, should we try to get more information on that, or?
Commissioner Barron, we're going to take that up under unfinished business. Can you hold that thought till we get there?
Sure.
All right, thank you. Anything else for the law director? All right, moving on to our committees and board reports. Operation Committee, Commissioner Ismail.
Segment, Commissioner Foster made a motion to rescind the current Fireworks Private Act, seconded by Commissioner Yeager. Motion passed forward to full commission for approval.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Foster, second by Commissioner Yeager. Any discussion on this motion? And this will require a 2/3 vote. Josh? I'm sorry? It is to rescind the current 1947 Fireworks Act. Private Act, yes.
Why do we want to do that?
Would you like to answer that?
Commissioner White, this is the same thing that we had back during Commissioner Mead's term, and we discussed it. There's some things in there that that do need to be cleaned up. I'll be voting no on this because of being a member of the volunteer fire department. You know, it's about fire safety and fires, you know, that we have, forest fires and that segment. But there's things in there that would make, if you have a sparkler, that you would be guilty of a crime, basically. There's some things there that need to be cleaned up, but still yet I'm not so much in favor of a total sales in the county. City of Rocky Top allows it, but you know, most of the fire departments, some are neutral, and that's what came out of the operations committee, because you know, they're in the business of fighting fires, not promoting them. So I understand that too. I'm not fully, I'm not ready to vote for it, for them to sell countywide, but this is something that does need to be cleaned up a little bit.
It was my understanding that several years ago, we, as a body, we designated the areas where that we have zoned for these adult bookstore establishments. We was gonna put, if we was ever going to allow fireworks sales, it was gonna be in those areas. Is that what we're gonna eliminate? Is that?
In this one, I don't think it mentions any of that about, you know, being in the same segment. This is totally county-wide. You know, we don't have any jurisdiction over the municipalities. This is just for the county sales, and then, you know, for the sheriff's department to, of course, you know, I don't think they're gonna go out and, you know, arrest a child for having a sparkler, but that's just something that probably needs to be cleaned up.
So we're gonna make it against the law to possess fireworks in Anderson County? Is that what we're doing?
No.
No.
Commissioner Foster, did you want to add?
Yeah, so we came out, this is just to remove the private act. It would go under, and I know you had kind of mentioned that previously. This would just make it
available under state regulations. So there would be requirements they have to meet under the state reg. This would just eliminate the current private act. If we want to put something else in later, we can, but this would eliminate the current private act and then would fall under state statute and rules and laws and regulations.
So we're gonna open the door then for the sale.
Yes, under the state under what the state guidelines, it will allow the sale of fireworks in Anderson County. But the one thing that we do need to take in consideration is that they go into session in January. So we need to take this up, either vote it up or vote it down. But the last time we was approved here, it was sent to the state approved it, was sent back, and this body voted it down. So whatever we do this time, we need to be in unison.
Thank you.
Commissioner Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll be voting no for this. I think that it is a safety issue, and I would like to have more input from our fire chiefs about this issue. They are in the business of fighting fires. I would consider them the experts in this, so I definitely want to hear from them, and I haven't heard adequately from them. I saw some letters, and they were kind of neutral, but I think they need to weigh in very, very heavily on this issue if we're going to permit the sale of fireworks. I feel like they're very, very dangerous, and I've had some constituents talk to me about the noise issue and the danger issue also. So I've been voting no for this.
Okay. Commissioner Allen, I do know the Fire Commission met last month, and they did take this issue up, and they made a motion. Do you know, I don't have that in front of me. Do you remember?
The motion was a motion of neutrality. I mean, basically, fire services are in the business of preventing fires, so they don't want you to walk away from the stove and leave a pot on a stove cooking unattended. They aren't going to promote fireworks. But what they did say in their motion is that they wanted us to meet the minimum state standards. I'd have to defer to Mr. Brooks, and I'm sure the laws on this are quite extensive, and so I don't want to blindside him and put him on the spot. But the discussion at the Fire Commission was about we could do another private act, which we have done before, or we could rescind, and if we rescind, then the state does the inspection of the facilities, the state requires the permits. But my understanding is there are still things, like Commissioner Isabel said, that we can come back and do to put in place additional standards, such as the times of the sales or things like that, or a local permitting. But this would put the burden goes to the state for inspecting facilities and things like that. One of the topics that, so for instance, one of the chiefs, his jurisdiction was actually for it. And so that was part of that discussion about being neutral, but let's fall into the state standards. And they were sensitive to the fact that, you know, there are sales taking place in surrounding jurisdictions, and you know, one thing that this body may want to do if sales do open up is you probably wouldn't have access to all of the funds that are generated, but you could make a guesstimate and you could assign those to fire service. So it would be revenue that's not going to other counties any longer, but you could, I think that would be a great case to make, would whatever local revenues are generated, set them aside for fire service. So
I didn't know if you raised your hand. I was like, okay. Commissioner McCamey.
This private act is older than me, and I'm old. It's actually 78 years old, and I think that, you know, it's time to abolish it, do away with it, go under the state law, and then come back, and if, you know, we want to look at another private act that fits us more for this day and time, we can do that at any time. But right now, I just want to do away with the private act that we have and go under state law.
All right, Commissioner Foster.
Yes, sorry for, thanks for letting me speak again. That, under the Tennessee.gov, there's a section on fire prevention. There's 6 pages of on firework sales, rules, law, regulations, permitting process. So if you want to check that out, you can just Google state laws on sale of fireworks, but it does talk about the permitting process, fire marshal. So that's what, there are guidelines with 6 pages worth.
Any other discussion? All right, this will require 2/3 vote, Josh. Let's go to the board and vote, and the yes vote is to rescind the Fireworks Private Act. No is to not rescind it. The motion failed. Did not receive the 2/3 vote. All right. Chairman Eastville?
Yes. Next was the Google recognition of the Rosedale community. Commissioner Yeager made a motion to send a letter to Representative Scarborough, seconded by Commissioner Foster. Motion passed forward to full commission for approval. Now, that would be Devonia, Morris Camp, and Tioga. And I think our New River people have already left. So those are the 3 communities, and, you know, there's some possible more development. They just had a new concert that was over there that was well received, just not enough parking. So some of the other communities there, like Tioga, that could be in Morris Camp that we talked about earlier. But when you get to, when it says Briceville, and you get on the 116, it says 3.5 miles, you're another 45 minutes from that 3.5 miles. So that's, you know.
So this satisfies Mr. Burge's request
It does.
during the appearance of citizens? Great.
What about Rosedale?
Well, Rosedale, and that's why we said the Rosedale community, and it was called Rosedale Community because it says Rosedale School. So in talking to Mr. Burge today, it's more or less, it's the Devonia community, and I think that's what he talked about. But there's also the Tioga, and, you know, back in the day, all those were separated, just like Medford is, you know, to
You're right. Okay.
Clinton.
We have a motion by Commissioner Foster and a second by Commissioner McNabb. Commissioner Foster.
Yeah, I
did
just
you-
want to add to my motion, because I don't know if this came out of, but this is for the law director to write another letter. I don't know if Commissioner Yeager had put that in his motion in operations, who was going to write the letter.
Is that okay with you, Commissioner McNabb? All right. Anything else to add, Commissioner Isbell?
That's it on that one.
Okay. All right. No other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
And Madam Chairman, this was not an action item, but I want to speak about the collection of money at Edgemore and Claxton because it's been in the news and people want to know about it. Commissioner Foster made a motion for Commissioner McNabb to work with the law director to create a master document of what is needed to obtain a license to put on the website and bring back to the committee next month, seconded by Commissioner Capshaw, and that's just for information only.
All right. So it will be taken back up in operations
That is
next month.
correct.
Thank you.
And that actually concludes the Operations Committee report.
All right, thank you. Under unfinished business, the letter, Waste to Jobs letter, that was given to us by the law director. Did we make a motion? Do we need a motion to, I guess we need a motion to approve this to be sent, or?
We were, I believe the motion was passed for us to prepare the letter.
To what?
To prepare it.
To prepare it, okay. All right, so you have the letter there in front of you. I hope you had an opportunity to read it. Do we have a motion to send this letter to the state reps there? Commissioner Yeager makes the motion, Commissioner Capshaw second. Any discussion? Commissioner Barron.
Yeah, like I say, we weren't given information as to what the trickle-down cost of this is for different families or different cities or whatever, you know, and everything. Now, obviously, some of it will change because people will change some packaging, but there should be some sort of baseline for us to guide you know, rather than, okay, we like it, and then they just charge whatever they feel like. There
Okay.
should be some regulatory body over it so that they're just not gouging us like crazy. I mean, I'm for the program. I want to see more recycling. We should do as much as we can possibly do and everything like that. But, you know, I just don't see giving them a blank check, if you know what I mean.
Sure. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Do you desire to amend it?
Well, I'd like to request more information on it.
Okay, before the letter is sent?
I think that would be preferable.
All right. Commissioner Yeager.
Well, it sounds like the beginning of a deferral, but I'm willing to speak. If he wants more information, that sounds like a deferral, but I'll be willing to. We were given a presentation. Thank you. I thought it was twice about this program.
Yeah.
So if it was on, you can go back and review it on operations, the video, if you want to learn more about it. But it looks like a completely fine and good program that has no cost to consumer, according to the information we received.
Okay, well, like I say, I don't think this is something they actually addressed in the program, but I'll go along with it.
Did you have something to add? Mayor Frank.
I did, the law director's office also sent it to me, and it is a letter from commission, but I just thought I would raise one issue and maybe even suggest, I mean, I think this is very worthwhile to look at this legislation and look intensively at it. But one of the things in there, so when you go pull up the bill does have a section in there about anti-competitive conduct by the PRO. And the PRO is that organization that actual authorities of the law are transferred over to that PRO that would have the enforcement mechanism, the ability to levy fines and all of that. But one of the portions of the current legislation as it's written is anti-competitive conduct to the extent necessary, and then it goes and lists all the things, planning, recycling, all of that. This entity is immune from liability under state laws relating to antitrust, restraint of trade, unfair trade practices. So while there's so much good in there, there's a little bit of bad that I already see, and then what else happens to the legislation as it develops. And so I guess just my own 2 cents, if I were reaching out to the legislature, would be this is very important. Recycling's important. We love to see what's happening here, but I'm just mentioning these couple of things because you're commissioners and I don't know that you're aware that that was actually in the bill. So, you know, kind of as a follow-on to what Commissioner Barron is saying. And that wasn't part of the presentation. That's when you actually read the bill. So.
All right. Are you in support of this letter?
I'm in support of a letter, but not as it's worded. I think it should be, I mean, my own, like if I was going to put my signature on it, and I just did not have time. I told Cassandra I'd be happy to rework a draft, but I did not have time to get it done by commission. I'm not trying to equivocate here, but I'm just saying a letter with my signature wouldn't be just a full endorsement of that.
Okay.
But yes, this has got merit. Let's look at it. I like what they're doing. I like the push for recycling, less packaging. I mean, anybody that's got kids or grandkids, you see the tiny toy that goes in this big box. I mean, it doesn't make sense. But
all right.
Maybe just pulling the letter back a little bit in terms of endorsement.
So the motion on the table is to send this letter to the state legislators. All right, any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Madam Chairman.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I do have.
Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Isabel.
This was to the maker of the motion. After you hear what the mayor was talking about, how do you feel about some changes in the letter? Because what we're approving is the letter as written.
I wouldn't be opposed to a deferral.
Okay. Can I make that motion?
I'd love for you to.
I'll second it.
Okay, so this will be an amendment to defer it?
Motion to defer, yes.
To defer to operations or?
Operations.
Or to full commission?
Operations and then full commission.
Okay, deferral to operations. Did I see someone that wanted to speak? Did you pull that back?
I did originally, but
All right. So we have an amendment here.
Let me-
Or to defer.
Can we get this done by next month's operation?
Yes, I
meeting?
mean, I was trying to, I mean, I started to tackle it, and there's really only a few sections in there that I think could be softened up a little bit and still show support, but without, endorsing every line of the bill.
Okay,
So,
would that be all right next month? Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, so the motion is to defer this to operations, the January operations meeting. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you, guys. Next on new business, we have Resolution 2512-1244, establishing meeting dates and times for Anderson County Board of Commissioners for 2026. Wow. Another year just clicked off, didn't it? All right. I have a motion by Commissioner Foster, second by Commissioner McNabb. Any discussion on these dates that were given for 2026? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Announcements. Commissioner Foster.
Well, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, but
Oh,
that's not
thank
my
you.
announcement. It's not really an announcement.
You're
again.
so festive today. Thank you.
January 29th, Planning Commission would like to do another joint meeting. January 29th was the date that didn't, went the same week as they can't really do other days besides Wednesday or Thursday. So January 29th, is everybody okay with that, to do a joint meeting with Planning Commission? It's Thursday.
What time?
We did not talk about time. What time do y'all want? 6 o'clock?
That's good.
Early.
5:30? Somebody? We did not talk about time. They're pretty flexible.
6,
5:30?
5:30.
5:30.
5:30 in this room. Thank you, and Merry Christmas, everyone.
All right, so that's at 5:30, Planning Commission and Commissioner Workshop?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other announcements? Okay, Commissioner McNabb.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and remind everyone that the Boys and Girls Club of Oak Ridge is doing their Christmas tree sale right now. We have had a living legend, one of my heroes, Mr. Lawrence Hahn himself, out there selling Christmas trees. So if anyone's in a Christmas tree, goes to a great cause, go by and see it.
Purchased one of them.
There you go.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Commissioner Barron.
Wanted to wish everybody a happy Hanukkah too, because it started yesterday. Of course, there was a tragedy yesterday too because of Hanukkah, but I wanted to wish everybody well.
Thank you, Commissioner Barron. Any other announcements? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Let's go. Merry Christmas, everyone.
If anybody wants to borrow this jacket, it's available.
There's
Not get carried away.
three little sections I thought could be kind of reworked and be a little